Hey friends, we're out at Shelby County Community Theatre. Our podcast is all about it. We think you're going to want to listen along. So we are here tonight at Shelby County Community Theatre. Thank you all so much for having us and letting us kind of come and ask you questions about what makes it all go around here.
Thanks for being here.
Oh, thanks. So, Mason, I'm going to start with you.
All right.
Please tell us what everyone needs to know. I know that's
That
such
could
a
take a
big
while.
question.
That's a big question.
It's a big question.
All
Tell
right.
us what everyone needs to know about the theater here.
Well, so I'll start at the very, very beginning.
Love it.
So the theater, this theater has been around since 1977. A group of kind of enterprising individuals in Shelby County recognized that there was a lack or a dearth of, performing arts in the community. And so they formed the Shelby County Community Theatre in the late 70s. And for a while, they were kind of a roaming troupe. They didn't have a permanent home. They performed at Shelby County High School, in the older courthouse that we have here in town, at our fairgrounds. They just kind of went around to properties as they could find them. And then a few years later, some money became available, and they purchased this building that we're in now. And so we're nearing our 50th anniversary as an organization.
That is so exciting.
And probably about 45 years in this property. And it's been a number of things over the years. It has been a pool hall. It has been a car dealership or a car shop. It's been, there used to be like a lift about where we are now to take cars up to the second floor.
We could have used that in our show.
You really could have.
right.
That would have been a neat addition. I think that went, away in the
surprise.
80s. So,
Yeah.
but like I was saying, it's nearing 50 years, and so I would be scared to guess how many different productions and things like that, and how many thousands of people have performed on this stage. But it really is, I'm lucky to be on the board here. I'm the board secretary, and it is really a cornerstone of the artistic community in, I'll say, the Louisville region. We draw, especially even for this show or any show that we do, we draw audience members, actors, participants, crew from, I think the farthest that I know of, someone drove from Cincinnati every day to be in rehearsal for a show one time. And that speaks, I think, to what we've got going on here.
We came for Ebenezer
We did.
last December, and we picked up on that quickly because people in the audience were sharing with us that they had cast members that were family members on stage, and they had driven maybe an hour or two to make this commitment.
Yeah.
So I think you all have a long run history here that brings real value to the area.
Absolutely. We ask, when people are purchasing tickets, how'd you hear about this performance?
Yes.
And, as any organization should. And friends and family is always kind of that first one. They either know someone in the cast or they know a friend or someone like that. But then, everything else is kind of a tie for second. And so it's a lot of word of mouth, but there's also that piece of people are recognizing what we've got going on here. And I don't act. This is the closest you'll ever see me to being on this stage.
What?
That is not my thing at all. And so really it comes down to the quality of the productions that we have going on.
Love that. And Jennifer, you are.
I am.
Yes, you are. This is fun. You are directing.
I am directing this
play
current
we're going
production.
To be singing.
And you're seeing it tonight,
Yes,
correct?
we are.
Yes.
I hope you like it. If you
Oh.
don't tell me.
They will say nothing. But yeah, so tell us what it's like to be a director for community theater in general, I guess, but Shelby County specifically.
Specifically for Shelby County, this is my second time directing
Okay.
for Shelby County. I previously directed Elf 2 seasons ago, or last season, I guess. And it was just a marvelous experience. We had children from, I think, age 7, and then we had it through 60-something for adults. And it was 28 people on stage, which was quite an ordeal for a musical. Wow. It's a wonderful situation to be in, though. I love Shelby County. The people are always nice. The people are always eager to help. They're always just very, they feel fortunate to be involved, and they want to be involved.
They see
And
the value
this,
of
oh, they do. They
the-
really do see the value of it. And this particular play that I'm directing now is the play that goes wrong, and it's supposed to go wrong in specific ways. It's supposed to be every actor's nightmare, every producer's nightmare, every director's
Oh, that's
nightmare, every
fun.
sound tech. It's all runs the gamut that. As actors and directors and people in the booth and tech and backstage, we've all experienced everything that happens in this show in other productions, because things do go wrong in live theater. But this show really relishes them, and it celebrates it, and it is a delight. And these performers have come from as far away as New Albany, Indiana. We have some from Woodford County, one from Anderson County, some from Louisville, and then some 4 local people as well at Shelby County Theatre that have been in my productions before here. It's just such a fun show. This is a nerve-wracking show.
Oh, I bet.
This has been my probably greatest challenge to direct, not people-wise, but you'll see the set tonight in action. It's a lot to contend with. There's a lot of things that happen that have to go right. And I think my wonderful husband, who loves me dearly, who's only built a few set pieces here and there for me in productions that I've had in Louisville, this is the largest set he's ever constructed. And it's the most traditional set he's ever constructed, but it's designed to go wrong. So it's doubly hard to do. But the set is a character in and of itself, and it's been a delight.
Well, so as people who will be watching later, and when this comes out, we're so sorry they will not still be doing this show, but there'll be other
Go
things
see
you
it
can
where-
go
yes.
see, right? How will we know if anything was in fact a mistake?
That's the
Because-
joy.
Yes, I would say I would be like, yes,
So
I'll,
is it that obvious?
Hopefully not. Hopefully, yes. So I was telling my 2 booth people, they're volunteers up in the booth. And, sometimes it's nerve-wracking for tech people to press a button and hopefully it goes right. Or, we are following a script up there, but sometimes the actors might forget their lines or skip something. And we're like, okay. But you can always tell when tech goes wrong, not so much when the actors go wrong, because the actors are very good about covering things up. But I told them, I said, this show is the best because no one will know. So
I love that.
we've had the show go right exactly for tech and for a couple of shows, and then a couple of shows things have happened that we're like, well, it's the show to happen. So it's been
kind of the objective.
It is kind of the objective, but hopefully you will not know.
Okay, we'll let you know if we
Yes,
caught anything.
exactly.
So how do you all? I mean, this sounds like a lovely show and such a fun thing to do to direct to people like you're doing. How do you all make the decisions about which shows get?
That's your question.
So
Yeah.
it's it's a process. There's not one person behind a curtain somewhere saying we're going to do this show in this time slot. There's a committee. Right now, I think there's like 9 or 10 people on the committee. It's all people who are very involved in theater, either here or at other theaters. There's directors, there's stage managers, there's actors, there's finance people. I mean, there's a good number, a wide range of people that are on the committee. And typically, that process starts as early as February for the following year. So we always work about a year ahead of schedule. And that group basically gets charged with reading shows, reading scripts, and saying, if this is my ideal season.
Okay.
A lot of times there's those big sticky note pages that are on the walls, and we say, okay, we know we're going to do a show in this time slot. What do we want the August show to be? And so everyone goes around and writes that down, and then there's some back and forth about, well, will that fit in our space, or do we think that we have the available talent pool? My answer to that question is always yes, because
Yes.
we have amazingly talented people in this area.
And you can fit in your space what the director can fit in his space.
We're lucky to have a directing pool in this area that is very creative and very talented, and I've seen some wild things on the stage that I would not have really thought would have fit in this space.
This show.
Yeah, exactly. I was in the room when this show was suggested, and I remember thinking, there's no way that this would work in this space. And so hats off to you for making it happen.
Oh, thank you.
But we have confidence in the directors that we're picking and things like that. And so it's a committee process. It's a group effort. It is not, like I said, it's one person behind a curtain saying we're going to do this show. And we do take audience, suggestions or input saying, what would you like to see? It's not really a formal process where we send out a survey. We have done that in the past. But it's, as we hear of things becoming available, and I won't even get into the whole rights request process. There are there are so many legal loopholes to jump
You decide
through.
a show, then all of a sudden the rights are pulled for it. You have to
That
be
has
just, yep. that
happened to
happened.
us. That was, I won't get into specifics on that, but that happened to us for our 25-26 season, which starts in July. And we had a show picked out. We had already mocked up posters and everything like that, which I guess we jinxed ourselves.
It happens.
We had been provisionally approved, and then they said, nope, can't do it. So then we found something else, which I think will be a fantastic production of Fiddler on the Roof, which is another one of those that I'm like, I don't know. I have
How
faith in
this
the
is gonna
directors, how
happen,
it's going to
right?
work.
Yeah, that's a big
But
production
it's a
too.
big production to do in this space. And so, it all worked out.
So this is kind of a boring admin question,
No.
but you read the scripts. The committee reads
Yeah.
the scripts. You kind of know what you've done before. Do the scripts come with like a possible budget, or do you? Because there's a financial commitment
There is.
to each script. I'm guessing.
We know, so no.
Okay.
They don't send a suggested script
Right.
because each theater company is so different. I mean,
Yeah.
I know how much we spend on a production, but you could go into Louisville
right.
and another company could
Skyrocket.
spend 5 times that or a fifth of what we're spending. I mean, it's truly scalable to that
Okay.
individual company.
Okay.
Like I said, I think we're kind of in that kind of middle range of what we have as far as budget goes. But no, they don't suggest a budget. There are certain things that are contractually obligated to be in a show, things like that.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
Yep.
But that is not. Other than that, there's no
But
requirement.
you all kind of have an idea of like what you want your 25-26 bottom line to be, and
Yep.
what you can do and commit to within that.
And we've been doing it for 50 years, so we kind of have
Absolutely.
we know
Right.
kind of how to fill in the blanks on that spreadsheet.
If I may add, Shelby County does an excellent job of balancing different shows that some, are showstoppers that you've heard of. They're definitely going to bring people in. But you also they do a great job balancing some of those shows that people may not have heard of. But they're wonderful shows, and it's great that you can balance that and give those people, an audience to have that experience as well. They do a great job. Because I've been on a theater board for several years in Louisville. You have to pick and choose what you can pay for, because it is, at the end of the day, you have to pay for it all. But it's they do a great job. So
And the known and the unknown would make a really super interesting season.
I won't
Yes,
say
it
that
does.
those conversations are not spirited.
you have to have them though.
There are lots of feelings and things about specific shows and specific titles, but it's a necessary part of the process.
It truly is. We've had back in my other organization, we have a couple of shows that we, use to pay for the other unknown shows. But you have to do that, and it's a great balance here because they have some upstairs series and they have the downstairs series. It's just great. And I was talking to my cast and crew that, there's people always in this building. They're always rehearsing or having classes, and it's wonderful to see it so busy. It's just a wonderful place.
It has to feel really good for the community to have this. We grew up near Horse Cave Repertory Theater.
okay.
And so, there's that memory of what that felt like. And for you all to have this as a continued thing, that's really super special. You're almost at 50 years.
Yeah.
That's so exciting. So can you give us a little bit of a preview of 25-26?
Yeah, so I mean, we talked a little bit earlier, so we'll open that season July of 2025 with Fiddler on the Roof. So that'll be kind of the end of the month going into the first part of August. And then we'll follow that up. We finagled with the schedule a little bit for next year. And so in September, we'll have The Line in Winter on the main stage down here. That'll be, that's usually our children's show slot, but we've, heard feedback from parents and families that that's back to school season. And it makes it hard to rehearse and audition a show during that back to school season. So we moved our children's show to late winter.
Okay.
When there's not as much going on. And then on the main stage in December, you'll be directing White Christmas.
I'm dreaming of a white. It's going to be fun.
Yes.
Lots of tap dancing.
Yeah.
So it's
Oh,
going to
wow.
be a good time. We secured a choreographer last night.
Good.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. This is
Exciting.
exciting.
very
So now
exciting.
you can audition.
Yes. I
Yes.
can.
Do you
Pat?
sing?
He really does not.
I do.
That's
sing.
okay. We
Oh,
have
he
people
does.
that don't sing in musicals, just like in operas. There are people that don't sing that, or.
I was thinking of tap dancing.
Yeah.
Well, I sing in
gonna
the
say.
same way that Mason says he does not act.
Yeah, no, that is not, it's not my thing. I didn't
You
know if
always
there
have to start somewhere, and community theater is great for that because there are a lot of experienced people that come out for shows, but there are also people that haven't done anything. And I'm like, come on, just, come on, give it a try. And I have a gentleman in our show now that he was an elf, and that was his first show, Elf.
Really? Okay.
And his daughter was in it with him, but he came back to audition for this show. And he is so nice, and he loves just being involved in theater. He'll take a kind of a backstage kind of
Yeah.
role, but
Yeah, I can
it's for
imagine.
everybody.
I can imagine it would be so much fun to be a part of it.
It usually is. It's a lot of hard work, though,
Sure,
sometimes
yeah.
too.
A lot of
And
commitment.
I think it's the director's responsibility to try to make it fun and try to stay on top and or organize. It's hard to organize, more than 20 people to have rehearsals and things. But if that process is very clear and the expectations are there that you want to have a good production and everyone has to work hard, not only when they come to rehearsal, but they have to rehearse at home or practice their song or their dance sometimes on their own too. But it's usually fun.
And we've kind of, taken over, we've kind of
No.
chased a rabbit from your timeline there because we were in the middle of
Oh, no.
December
Yes.
and
The other
White
shows,
Christmas.
yes.
I was gonna
Because
say.
then I was making Tony audition
No,
and all
that's
those
all right. I
things.
was
so-
in my head. I was like
Yeah.
buying you an embroidered shirt that said Tony the Tap Dancer.
There you
I
go.
love it.
And so
We need that.
in February, late February, early March, in this space, we'll have Peter Pan. So that'll be for
Wow,
our
yeah.
children's production. It's not a musical; it's just a traditional play. We try to every few years. There are some kids that don't sing, and so we want,
I was in that when I was 6.
and we want to have those opportunities available. And so we'll have Peter Pan in this space, and then I am a terrible board member. I am totally blanking
That's
on the
okay.
May
I
slot.
know, I have to go look at the picture.
It is. It's coming to me now. It is The Man Who Came to Dinner.
That's a
in
delight.
May of 2026. And so, what I was talking about earlier, were how we, as a committee, we're working a year ahead of schedule. We're looking at now. I have rolled off the committee. They're looking at the May 2027. Time slots. We're working a year, 2 years in
Okay.
advance, and so trying to figure out, what audience trends are going to be and things like that in 2 years is always a fun guessing game. It is a guessing game.
It is a
but
guessing
it's a
game.
fun game. And then upstairs, so we have 2 performance spaces here. This is our main stage space. This is the larger of our 2. Seats about 134 people, depending on configuration and everything. Upstairs, which has been any number of things. It was a dining room for many years as a theater. When this downstairs was a theater, and now we've turned it into a kind of a multi-purpose room. It's been a dining room, but it is also a performance space.
Cool.
And so that, I don't know if avant-garde is the right word, but it's more of that kind of, it's not really experimental, but it's just something that may
I
not
think it's an
fit.
intimate space,
Yeah,
which is nice.
Okay.
It's things that may not work necessarily down here on our main stage. So in October, we'll do 3 performances up there. In October, we'll do, it has a formal name, but it's an Edgar Allan Poe kind of Halloween type thing.
That sounds fun.
That one, I'm looking forward to that. That'll be fun. And then I think we've got kind of like a special Halloween night activity performance planned
Okay.
type thing. I'm hoping there'll be, something.
Spooky.
I don't know if it'll be
Yeah.
like show up in costume. I don't know what it'll be yet, but that's coming down the pike at some point. And then we always do 2 youth performances, one on the main stage for, those children kind of under 13. Upstairs, we do a teen performance, and so that'll be ages 13 to 17. And then they'll be doing John Lennon and Me.
Oh, that's fun.
So you know it.
No, but that just sounds fun.
And so it's something that it's not really the happy-go-lucky, type thing. It's more, we want to give our young adult actors something to kind of sink their teeth into. And so that'll be, I won't say heavy, but it'll be a bit more of a
Introspective
type
part,
production for them. And then we will finish upstairs in June of 2026 with Uncle Vanya. So that'll be our first in that area, and so we'll go that route in June. So that's the 25-26 season.
That is a big commitment.
All really great shows.
Yeah.
I mean, really, that season is terrific.
Well,
It's great.
It was
So well done to
Yeah.
the committee before it's even, don't want to jinx you all there either,
yeah.
but
I
it
was gonna
seems
say,
like
no,
you
all the
all
contracts
done.
are signed. I was gonna say
Right.
we're all good.
Okay,
But
So where did you get your love for theater?
Yeah.
So
sorry.
I, like I said, I do not act. I've worked kind of backstage, lighting, sound, that type of thing. And it started when, how old was I? I was 10. And I wasn't, I have protective parents, and we were not quite old enough to stay home by ourselves yet, apparently. And so we had a babysitter, and she was really involved here at the theater as a teenager. And she said, I'm helping stage manage this youth production. Do you want to, she asked my parents, do you mind if they just come and sit in the rehearsal, while we're here? And they said they didn't care. And then I ended up knowing some people that were in the cast that I went to school with. And then they needed someone to run the CD player for the soundtracks for the show. 'Cause
Love
it was a
that.
musical. It was Honk Jr.
Nice.
And so I was deputized to hit play on the CD player for the tracks for the show. And that was in 2010, and I just kind of stuck around. They can't get rid of me.
you must have done
That's
a good job.
awesome.
So that's
Yeah.
where that started.
Yeah, you must have been successful
I,
because they've kept you around.
I tried my best. I took it very seriously.
And so,
That's a
same
hard job,
question.
really, though.
Same question to you.
Absolutely.
Oh, how did I get involved in theater? Ooh, that's a great question too. Like I said, when I was little, my parents went to Actors Theater of Louisville all the time, and they enrolled me. I think it was in first grade. We had a dramatics class, after school class, and we did Peter Pan. I was Tiger Lily, so hopefully I can audition. No, and we did some scenes from The Sound of Music, and I was Gretel, and had a great time doing that. But when I was growing up, I did a lot of myriad of things, not specifically theater, but I was always the person on those class projects when you'd have, someone has to report on it or act it out. It was always me, and I really just loved doing that. And then I got more involved in high school a little bit. I'd go to see different events. I was a band person in high school, band geek. Shout out. And so I went to Eastern Kentucky University for music, and I had a chemistry major my first year. Then I switched to theater my second year, and I just fell in love with all the aspects. I got to work at the costume shop, production, being on stage. I wasn't always the best on stage back then, but we took a lot of acting courses, and it just really evolved into something great. But I think I got my niche back in this actual theater when Cindy asked me to be in a show after I moved back to Kentucky. I lived in Tampa for 9 years. Moved back, and she said, "Do you want to do a show?" So I said, "Okay, I'll give it a try." And it all just came back, and it was wonderful being on stage again. And I have a wonderful group of friends and a family of theater people that I just adore. We had a stormy night last night, and I'm like, if we have to go, this is where I want to go. And luckily, nothing happened here. Unfortunately, it happens in other parts of. But it's been a tremendous time in my life. I have a day job. All my friends have day jobs. We do community theater for the fun and the love of it. We all volunteer. Sometimes I get paid, which is nice. Other times I don't, and which is still very nice. Or I pay more too to do for help for the production along.
So the community that really is built comes in part from, like, I'm sure all the audition time you all spend together. How much time are you spending in a standard production, you think?
A standard production, if it's a musical, I spend about 8 weeks producing that, and 3 of those days per the week is about 3-hour times for direct contact with the cast, rehearsing specific things. Other times I will do, as a director, I do a lot of planning, probably over-plan, but I'd rather be prepared than not. And then I also volunteer in helping to get the production on its feet. I make props. I'll work the sound cues, what I want to see in the lighting cues, and think of all of that. And I work really closely with the production crew. Our production team, we meet probably a year in advance of a show going up, just to get all my ducks in a row of who's doing what and how we're going to do it. And we all kind of work together to see what the vision is for that production. This particular show, I've spent at least 5 solid weeks every day at this theater, either building or working with our staff. And it's been a labor of love. It really has. Working with my husband a lot, one-on-one. Hopefully he won't leave me. But it's been a lot to get this wonderful set completed.
lot goes into what we come here and just enjoy for a couple of hours.
It's true, and it
You all-
depends on the show as well. There's some shows that aren't as set heavy,
Yeah.
and that you can be more creative or more. If you have more people in it, you can't have as big a set sometimes. So it really just depends on the show and what the director's vision and how you can complete it with the production team as well.
So, what else do we need to make sure everyone knows before they think about how to think about coming?
Well, so we are, right in the middle of selling our Flex Passes for our. We don't do season tickets. We do a Flex Pass.
Okay.
People, might need 6 tickets for one show, but not for another. And so we want to be flexible for people. So we have Flex Passes. Those are available on our website, Shelby Theatre, THEATRE, not ERRE, .org. And so those are available. And then individual tickets are available online. There are, great restaurants within walking distance. And so really we encourage people as a theater, to make an evening of it when you're coming to Shelbyville. The Bell House is right next door. If you plan on going to the Bell House, I really recommend reservations and get there at 5 to really be able to have time to enjoy your meal and get dessert and everything like that, especially for an evening performance. But then La Cocina de Mama is right up the street, so it's wonderful Mexican food. Parlay Sports Bar just opened a few months ago. And it is an excellent kind of casual spot to grab. They have an amazing smash burger, best one I've had anywhere. I'm putting that
That's
out
a
there.
big statement.
I'm putting that out there.
Yes.
We took our cast last night
Yeah.
to the little bar up about 3 blocks, the full stop, last stop.
Last stop.
Yeah, and it was delicious. They were so nice to us,
Yes.
and I took my cast out for beverages and snacks after the show. They were great.
Yeah, last stop is.
You will want to be on her cast next time.
yeah.
Like
I'm definitely
Christmas.
tapped
he's
in.
I usually
definitely-
thank them
he's gonna learn
profusely.
how to
If I
tap
can't,
dance.
financially, I really can't thank them enough. But I do like to feed them and make sure that they feel happy.
Absolutely.
He's going to learn how to tap dance.
There you go.
We will have probably a lot of lessons with tap dancing.
Love it.
Who knows?
So, yes, the food here,
Yeah.
delicious.
Yeah.
We've gotten to eat at so many places in Shelby County.
Yeah.
So good.
We really have spectacular.
You really do.
places
You all
to eat
really
in
do.
Shelby County.
So if somebody's coming and they want to take in a night at the theater, what else there's so many things, but what are some other things they can add to their itinerary when they come if they want to spend a weekend?
Yeah.
Or,
So, all kinds of things. If you go to visitshelbyky.com, all of that is listed on there. But there are, we were just talking about the restaurants and the breweries and the bars that are in the area, but there's also a lot of, interactive different things like that. The Kentucky Black Trailblazers augmented reality experiences are really cool.
I want to know more about that.
We'll talk offline. But it
is very neat.
There are 2 within really walking distance of this, where we are now, and it uses augmented reality technology to tell the story of, Black Kentuckians who have not had their story told. And so the ones that are in Shelby County focus on Shelby Countyans. And walking distance here is an experience for Elijah P. Mars, who was one of the first Black school teachers in Kentucky, and he founded what has become Simmons College, which is an HBCU in Louisville. And then also in walking distance from here is an experience for the Harlem Hellfighters, the World War I infantry group that really kind of is credited with bringing jazz to Europe. They did a lot of trailblazing in their day, but they weren't really allowed to fight for the U.S. Army because of racism they faced. So they ended up fighting for the French Army. But 5 of them are buried in Calvary Cemetery, which is a historically Black cemetery about 5 minutes from here. And they didn't get any sort of recognition when they died or anything like that. And so that has been, I love that experience because you pull up the AR experience and then you're seeing the reenactors of these people on or through augmented reality on your phone in the cemetery. So you're seeing their headstones in the background.
wow.
They're talking about their experience, and then when their speech ends, they fade away, and then you're just looking at their headstones in the background. So it's very moving. People have cried. It's been a very, that's a really fun thing to do in the area, just to learn more about the history and things like that.
Very creative as well.
It was,
We're sitting in the theater, but that is
Yeah.
There's a lot of musicians in Shelby County
yes,
too. That it's
tons of them, and so
very talented as well.
all kinds of live music going on all over the place. Talon Winery does live music on Fridays and Saturdays throughout the year. Jep the Creek Distillery hosts concerts throughout the year. July 19th, they're hosting Kevin Bacon,
We saw
the Bacon
that.
Brothers.
What?
Yeah.
My
Yes.
husband's met him.
Really?
1 degree
Well, now
separation.
you can. And so, but that, I think tickets are still on sale for that. So there are, all kinds of, whether it's, theater or music or, interacting with augmented reality, you're getting, pretty well-rounded experience here.
And horses.
And all kinds of horses and bourbon
Oh
and
my
stuff
gosh.
too.
That's
Yeah.
right. The fairgrounds has a
Yeah.
famous horse show as
There
well.
are, throughout the summer, a lot of saddlebred horse shows. The Shelbyville Horse Show is kind of going through a restructuring right now, but that'll become the Shelby County Horse Show. But it'll all be, saddlebred horses. This is the saddlebred horse capital of the world, and so there are all kinds of things going on like for that.
And then shopping.
Oh yeah,
I mean, gosh.
Oh, the outlets.
you
Yeah.
all have such.
And cute stores up and down Main Street as
Adorable.
well.
and across the street
Yeah.
here at the shops at Blue Gables,
Yeah.
lots of little
And
boutiques.
You all also
and-
have events. We got to come to your Christmas event
Yes.
last year, and that was so much fun. So many vendors.
Yes, that
And-
is. I think it's one of the larger ones in the state, and they work for weeks trying to set that up. Trying to get everything coordinated. And that is a really fun time. I think last year the number I heard was that there were 6,500 people that attended, and it felt like it because I mean the streets were
Yeah.
packed. But it's very, to me, Hallmark Channel. Everyone
It was.
gathers in the middle of the
You're
town square, and they light the Christmas tree, and there's Christmas music playing.
Yeah, the elf
Kids
cast got to
singing.
sing
Yeah,
one year.
Yeah.
It was fun.
So that's always a fun night.
It was a lot of fun for us.
It was, and we
yeah.
got to eat a really good street taco.
Yes, those were. I think those were
Again, the vending
Yeah.
was wonderful. So, okay, well, what else? Is there anything else that you can think of we want to make sure people know?
We've touched on all the moving pieces that go into a
Yeah.
production and some history of the theater. So thank you for
Of course.
letting us talk about the theater.
Yes, and I
We
hope
are-
you enjoy the show. And if you do, make sure you tell all your friends to come see it. And if you don't, that's okay. You can just tell me later.
Okay, that's right.
I'm sure they'll
I'm
love it.
sure we will love it.
I hope so. It's
because,
been a lot of fun. It's
He's
been
going to
fun.
tell you he likes it.
Yes.
I was gonna say, he
Anyway,
wants to go-
because
he
we
wants to
should
go all.
know. Yeah.
He's going to want a position in the upcoming. So,
Absolutely.
thank you all so much. We're excited about another night of entertainment here,
Indeed.
and we appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for
guys.
having us.